coming to a program, you know you come to church, did you? And how many of you know that deep in the midnight hour, when Diane Ragsdale thought she was in it all by herself, but it was Jesus that kept her. You know, a lot of us would have given up and just took whatever was coming at us, but no, she didn't give up. She pressed in because she knew that she had a mission. She had a call. of us are being called, but we're looking at the caller ID and go, oh, I'll take that later. You have to do what they did back in the day and answer the call. Amen. And so we go back to that first song and say, thank you, Diane, for all you've done for us. Because there are certain things that I can do, there are certain things that my children can do because of what you did. So we say thank you. Amen. Can somebody pass out those fans with Martin Luther King's picture on it? Man, we have some church up in here. And as Kim Kardashian said to her last husband, about 10 days into the wedding, into the marriage, we're almost through, so y'all just bear with me. Coming to the stage now. You like that, didn't you? I think something else to say. Okay. Sherman Roberts is a community development activist, along with our own from the Black Academy of Arts and Letters, someone I met, I think I was around 14 when I met him, and amazingly, he still looks the same. One and only Mr. Curtis King, so they're going to come to the stage.
Good evening. When Thomas asked me to come and do this, he knew I don't do much public speaking, but for Diane Ragsdale, I couldn't say no. And you can tell by this room, a lot of people couldn't say no. So thank you, Diane, for all that you do. It was said earlier, it's a tough act to follow after Commissioner Price and Pastor Freddie Haynes, and then after that great choir we just heard. But I'm going to do my best here. One good thing about it, I am up here before Reverend Zan Holmes, so that's good. That's a lot. But I work with Diane on a daily basis. Commissioner Price said that, you know, Diane was here, she did this years ago. She's a politician that's still here, still doing the daily work every day of the week. And I can attest to that. We be in meetings constantly. She look at the mayor and tell the mayor, well, Mayor, I'm working in the most distressed area. This is not enough. And this is about 2 months ago. We were in a meeting about a month ago with the city manager. She looked him straight in the eyes and said, that's not for my community. And so she's there every day of the week testifying, and she's somebody that I can always rely on. You might not know this, but Diane and I, we talk just about 2 or 3 times a week. Early in the morning, now, 6:30 or 7 o'clock. She's up and at 'em, and I say, I hope I didn't wake you up. And she's right there. Oh, no, doctor, you didn't wake me up. You didn't wake me up. She used to call me doctor so much, I didn't think she knew my name. But when she finally said my name, I said, well, she's getting it. You know, when I'm down and when I'm out, you know, when we're doing this fighting, I always can rely on her because she's one that's been there. And you know, you always hear this, and I hope the young people can do this. You learn from experience. You learn from people who've been there, who've done that, and you never too old to learn. So I'll look at Diane, I'll rely on Diane, and Diane, thank you for being my friend, and thank you for being a colleague, for being in the trenches. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, who is that? Well, first of all praise to God, who's the center of life, source, and universe. I'm going to cut mine short, really short, because we're going to do our stuff together. First of all, Dan, you know how much we love you. There's no question about that. Whenever Thomas Muhammad called you at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning and said what Diane got to do, and you, Diane, would worry you to death. Brother! Look here! This way. Brother, look here. Now, did you do that? You know, brother, look here, my brother. Now, wait a minute. I said to her that I want to have Pastor Holmes and Reverend Pastor Haynes to do a ceremony today. And they would marry Thomas and Diane Ragsdale. Diane and Thomas are really good friends. Well, let me just say one thing. He's going to talk a little bit about it. to be here and to reflect back 29 years ago when we went to Dallas City Council, and there were 2 African Americans on the council. And Diane Ragsdale is one of those individuals. 15 people, you had to have 8 votes.
That's it.
We're number 2. And the other thing is that as African Americans, they don't just serve their individual constituents. They have to serve the whole community. And sometimes I want to make sure that when we went to Diane and Councilman Lipscomb, God bless his soul, that we had all of our stuff together. When you go to council, you need to make sure you have all your research together so don't put the responsibility on them. Commission, I'm going to tell you, brother, I pray for you every day.
Yeah.
And let me tell you something. Even though you're all connected, there's nothing like the power of prayer. There will be people, Commissioner. This is all tribute to Diane. Because you were another one of those individuals. You, Pastor Holmes, when everybody said no, y'all sat in these rooms and you talked to people. And people who said, if you do this, we're going to take your funding. And the same people who said they end up in prison. When you mess with one of my little ones, is what I said. It's like putting a millstone around your arm neck. My brother, all you got to do is stand. In my closet, I have your name on my altar. I'm from the 6th of Mississippi. Ain't gonna let nobody turn their around. Whenever you need us.
Yeah.
That's what Diane, that's what she, listen, last thing I promise I'm gonna say. Go over to see what this woman has done. The last time I went over there, I could not believe that people who are living in those communities, that this woman has built homes for. It doesn't look like a small kind of down that I know. Go and see the work. It is not easy work. One person said to me when I went over there not too long ago, "Are you Brother King?" I said, "Yes, I am. It's good to see you in this community." I said, "It's good to be here." "Are you coming to see Councilwoman Ragsdale?" I said, "Yes, I am." God bless this woman. I wouldn't even have the space if it wasn't for Diane. I would be on the streets. The work is just starting. This is what I'm going to tell you. Listen, everybody is talking about their own community and how much they cherish their community. But every time you stand up about your community, it's always a problem. Why? I love you, but I love me too. This is one of my mentors, so now he's going to finish it up for me. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm strong. Good afternoon. My name is Terrence Dean Jr. I'm only one of 7 youth performers in our group. Young, gifted, and black artists. Better known as TYGBA. Although they were not able to make it this afternoon because they had to test. We sing, we can dance a little, we sure enough can portray a character from a monologue, but I didn't come to do either one of those things. I've come to speak on the group's behalf and many young people like myself. Today I'm going to give my perspective and insight on the lioness, Diane Ragsdale. In my personal opinion, I don't think she's building the inner city and helping families and restoring Dallas to its former glory, not only for the adults, but for the youth. Now, from what I've learned about Ms. Ragsdale is that she's a risk taker.
But she was not afraid to speak her mind. Also, she was one of 2 African American city council members when she helped the Black Academy of Arts and Letters find this permanent home. Young people like myself have been afforded the opportunity to perform a showcase at the Actors Company Theater Studio in New York. Because of Ms. Ragsdale's vote on the council to find T-Ball a permanent home, this permanent home, we auditioned for America's Got Talent and made it to the second round. Because of Mr. King and Ms. Ragsdale's leadership, we participated in Broadway Dreams Foundation, the Broadway Dreams Foundation, right here in Dallas, Texas. And because we have a place to train, because we have a home, I was able to introduce the late and great Ruby Dee. At the Apollo Theater in New York, at the age of 10. I'm not up here to brag. I'm not up here to brag. But I learned that when God has blessed you, you tell it. My grandmother used to tell me, she said, every time me and my brother got in trouble, I can show you better than I can tell you. That is reason. Dikembe Mutombo once said, God put us here to prepare this place for the next generation. That's our job. Raising children and helping the community, that's preparing for the next generation. You, Ms. Ragsdale, have done nothing but that. That's the entire speech. Let's do one more thing before I take my seat. Adults, you've had your chance. Now it's our turn in life. Believe it or not, the time for the next generation has come, but that does not mean that people like Ms. Ragsdale and Mr. King, Curtis King. Now, he said I'm his mentor, but he's my mentor. To stop molding the lives of the future. You probably won't be able to change the way we think or the way we act, but you can change the environment around us. I really hope that you all continue to support institutions like T-Ball and others to give not just the Black youth, all youth a home. Thank you.
Hey, come on,
Okay, I know. A lot of y'all probably have some of the same questions I do,
next president.
but I'm gonna start off with this. Dude, who are you? Now, tell me your name again.
Terrence Dean Jr.
Terrence Dean Jr. Now, who are you? What school do you go to?
I attend Booker T. Washington High School.
All right, so how old are you?
I'm 14 years old.
14 years old. Where did you get this from?
Good Lord.
Now, you're part of Young Gifted and Black here at the Black Academy. What all do y'all do?
We sing.
Can you sing something for us real quick?
Oh, no.
You don't sing? We sing. Oh, not a solo. Okay. Well, we already heard you speak, so what else do you do?
He can dance a little bit.
Can you dance a little bit for us?
He can.
What do you do?
I act.
All right. Can you act a little bit for us? Give us something.
We act.
But you're also very funny. And great job. Congratulations. And again, for that amazing choir that we heard earlier, Texas College Concert Choir from Tyler, Texas. I have a daughter in Tyler, so I recently discovered, daughter in college in Tyler, so I recently discovered this place called Juicy's Hamburgers. Which, y'all know about that? Man, hamburgers like this big, so if you ever get to Tyler, go by Juicy's. I just am not qualified to introduce our next speaker. Had a chance to meet him briefly several years ago when a family member passed away and the funeral was at his church. But I do know this, that he, just like Diane Ragsdale, just like John Molly Price, on the front line, not only of social justice, but of reaching souls for the kingdom. And we are extremely delighted and we are privileged that we are in his presence today. Please help me welcome to the stage the one and only Reverend Zan W. Holmes Jr. He's a pastor emeritus at St. Louis Community United Methodist Church.
Shall we stand for the benediction? After Dr. Freddie Haynes spoke, I got up and I said, I'm leaving. I got to the back, somebody said, you can't leave there, you gotta go back here. Commissioner Price, all of the pastors, members, friends, I just want to make a few observations. The first observation I want to make has to do with you, the audience, those of you, those of us who are here today. It's always good to see people that take the time to come together to express thanks and appreciation for those who serve this way. The second observation I want to make is about what I call the power of grassroots leadership. I came to Dallas in 1956. I rented a room in a house in South Dallas on Jordan Street. And I never have forgotten where I started out in Dallas. I was pastoring my first church in Hamilton Park, United Methodist Church, and our bishop named me as the district superintendent for all of the churches in the Dallas area. And I immediately moved my office to South Dallas in the basement of the Warren United Methodist Church. That was an all-black conference. Later on, we merged and we integrated, and I became the district superintendent of all the white, light, brown United Methodist churches. I kept that office in the basement of Warren United Methodist Church in South Dallas. I became a frequent observer of grassroots leadership that came out of South Dallas and the difference that that leadership has made in this city. Diane Ragsdale represents that leadership.
Yeah.
And she's smart. She always has a plan in mind. Now, I don't know if you noticed this. In the pamphlet you have about Inner City Community Development Corporation, it reads, during the early 80s, there was an abundance of incompatible land throughout South Dallas Fair Park neighborhoods. Residents were concerned with the deterioration of their community. At that time, then Councilwoman Diane Ragsdale, the visionary founder of South Dallas Fair Park Inner City Community Development Corporation, appointed a land use committee of residents. That's why she's on the council. She appointed, use her power, to appoint a land use committee of residents and members of the local business community to address the absence of urban planning within South Dallas proper. These neighborhood activists help residents to understand that land use planning is an essential component of neighborhood revitalization. The activism of this land use committee led to the creation and development of ICDC. She planned that while she was in power. And so, when her term ended, she became the chairperson to implement what she had planned. She had a game plan. She's smart. And I had the privilege, I went down to visit her. Thomas Army was there. I had to see all of this for myself. I had not been there, never seen it. And I should have seen some of it because St. Luke Church, where our pastor got a start in that same area. We still have a little building down there. And I know how difficult it was in that area. I was literally surprised the other day when I went down. I spent the morning to see the outstanding work. The changes, I mean, the revolutionary changes that have taken place in that community. And there are other groups involved also, but if you have not been there, you need to go. I left there with greater appreciation for Diane Ragsdale, who had the common sense to plan ahead of time. Then after she got out of office, she implemented the plan. Now, I read about a woman who went into a garden store to look for some plants that she wanted to plant. And she noticed there was an old rusty can. There was a beautiful plant in it. And she asked the clerk, why is it that you got this plant in this old rusty can? It's the only one in this old rusty can. And he said, well, I planted it in that old rusty can to see if it could bloom wherever it was planted. And I knew it could bloom there. It could bloom anywhere. Diane Ragsdale has blossomed wherever She was glad. Hallelujah. Thank you. You never forgot who you are. You never forgot your purpose. And then, you know, when it's all summed up, Diane Ragsdale is a child of God. And I like what the Pope said yesterday. And this is on the front page of the Dallas Morning News. The Pope said, God lives in the city. God lives in the city among the poor. God lives in the city. And God lives in Diane Ragsdale. And when it's all said and done, it's all about God. How what God has done for us and through us, and people like Diane Ragsdale. I'm talking about the same God who has brought us a mighty, mighty, mighty long way. Brought us all the way from Dirt Alleys to paved boulevards. Brought us all the way from News to Mercedes. Brought us all the way from cul-de-sac to silk. Brought us all the way from neck bones to T-bones. Brought us all the way from chitlins to caviar. Brought us all the way from the back of the bus to the front of the bus to drivers of the bus to owners of the bus. Brought us all the way from slave ships to cruise ships. Brought us all the way from the outhouse to the White House. Not just once, but twice. And and even beyond that, this God brought us all the way from damnation to salvation. To God be the glory. To Diane Ragsdale. To Diane Ragsdale. Somebody ever say amen? Pastor Dan home.
And you know what, I can't even imagine what Dallas would be like today, as Dan Holmes not been here at the time that he was there.